Alex is around here, somewhere. She would have a better idea how to get him here. Well, Barney, what do you intend? Great Scott! Gordon Freeman! I expected more warning. Very well. And, Gordon, good to see you. Yes, Barney, what is it? I'm in the middle of a critical test. What? Oh, dear, you're right. I almost forgot. Barney, I'll give you the honor. All right, Barney. Your turn. Barney, if you'd be so kind. Blast that little... Where did she get to? Bon voyage, and best of luck in your future endeavors. We can't continue until you're in the teleport chamber, Gordon. You can't just wade into the field. It will peel you apart. Good idea. There's a charger on the wall. I've modified your suit to draw power from Combine energy outlets, which are plentiful wherever they patrol. Oh, fie! It'll be another week before I can coax her out of there. Lamar! Come out of there! Well, I can't take all the credit. Dr. Freeman proved an able assistant. Dear me. Certainly not. Never fear, Gordon. She's debeaked and completely harmless. Gordon, the longer you delay, the greater the danger to us all. Well, did it work? Once you're safely ensconced in the transmitter, we can begin. Excellent. Right you are. Speak to you again in a few moments. Oh, fiddlesticks. What now? Very good. Final sequence. Commencing now. Final sequence. Well, Gordon, I see your HEV suit still fits you like a glove. At least the glove parts do. The worst you might do is attempt to couple with your head, fruitlessly. Gordon, as soon as you're in position, we'll send you to Eli's. Gordon, you must get out of here! Run! Gordon, go right ahead. Throw your switch, Gordon. Lamar! Hetty! No! Oh, hello, Alex. Well, almost all right. Lamar has gotten out of her crate again. If I didn't know better, I'd suspect Barney of trapping and... Here, my pet. Hop up. No, not up there. What do you mean he's not there? Yes, Eli. Bit of a hold-up on this end. You'll never guess who found his way into our lab this morning. Initializing in 3, 2, 1. Initializing in 3, 2, 1. I'm encountering unexpected interference. Is Lamar with him? Lamar! There you are. Let's see. The massless field flux should self-limit, and I've clamped the manifold parameters to CY base and LG orbifold, Hilbert inclusive. I've made a few modifications, but I'll just acquaint you with the essentials. Now let's see. The Mark V hazardous environment suit has been redesigned for comfort and utility. Conditions could hardly be more ideal. My goodness. Gordon Freeman. It really is you, isn't it? No! Careful, Lamar. Those are quite fragile. Nonsense. Your talents surpass your loveliness. Now, there's nothing to be nervous about. We've made major strides since then. Major strides. Oh dear. I must say, Gordon, you come at a very opportune time. Alex has just installed the final piece for our resurrected teleport. Indeed it is. And it's our intention to send him packing straight away in the company of your lovely daughter. Dear me, you're right. Gordon, would you mind plugging us in? Yes, indeed. We're ready to project you, Gordon. That's right, Barney. This is a red-letter day. We'll inaugurate the new teleport with a double transmission. Thank goodness. My relief is almost palpable. Well, Gordon, go ahead. Slip into your suit now. Gordon, if you please, I'm eager to see if your old suit still fits. Then where is he? Gordon, why don't you position yourself near the panel over there and wait for my word? We owe a great deal to Dr. Freeman, even if trouble does tend to follow in his wake. What is it? I wish I knew. It's your turn, Gordon. I await your arrival with great anticipation. Ready, willing, and fully enabled. Stop who, my dear? Yes, Alex. Where are you? Now, she's around here someplace. Well, that is most troubling. According to the Vortigaunts, he is a prisoner at the Citadel. Indeed it did, and the repercussions were felt far and wide, but that was over a week ago. A great deal, my dear. The blow you struck at Nova Prospect was taken as a signal to begin the uprising. Just a minute. I can't leave without Lamar. Now, where did she get to? Come out, Lamar! Barney has been leading a push with that very aim in mind. And another of your friends arrived several days ago. My dear, I had given up hope of ever seeing you again. Great Scott! Alex? Gordon? My God, how did you get here? And when? Lamar? Lamar! Yes, Gordon, please, do go on. Lamar is extremely wary of your crowbar. Yes, Barney, and I'm no longer alone. Alex and Gordon have just arrived. So there, you see? It's not all hopeless. There's only one Hetty. Fascinating. We seem to have developed a very slow teleport. This suggests an entirely new line of investigation. Careful, Lamar. These lamps are quite hot. Oh dear, Eli, I'm sorry, but surely there's no need for undue alarm. Alex is well out of harm's way by now. The manner in which these exceedingly rare quantum effects percolate up into the physical plane will be fascinating to witness. However, not at first hand. The ravages to cellular material are unimaginable. The manner in which these exceedingly rare quantum effects percolate up into the physical plane will be fascinating to witness. However, not at first hand. The ravages to cellular material are unimaginable. Although, I suppose we really should send a foray party for specimens at some point after the event. Fellow citizens, residents of City 17 and environs, by which I mean sentient residents, of course, human and otherwise, although I believe there is little need to explain recent developments to our Vortigaunt allies. At any rate, first, as a matter of great urgency, if you find yourself still within the confines of City 17, you are well advised to leave the city at once by the fastest means available to you. We have restored service to much of the commuter transport system in order to carry citizens out of the city as quickly as possible. We have also established camps and triage areas in the surrounding environs. I repeat, you must evacuate the city at once. While there was certainly a great benefit in destroying the Citadel's teleport core, we have detected one rather unfortunate side effect. It would appear an inevitability that very soon now the Citadel will be consumed in a destructive event whose magnitude I cannot currently estimate with any certainty, except to say that it will almost certainly irradiate an area of many miles radius. Therefore, I repeat, evacuate City 17 at once, if not sooner. I cannot state this without enough undue emphasis. On a lighter note, if you are already in one of our designated safe zones, I feel obliged to point out that a more fortunate side effect of the reactor's destruction is the complete removal of the Combine's reproductive suppression field. Previously, certain protein chains important to the process of embryonic development were selectively prevented from forming. This is no longer the case. For those so inclined, now would be an excellent time for procreation. Which is to say, in layman's terms, you should give serious consideration to doing your part for the revival of the species. We must make the most of the time we have, as it is by no means certain how much time we have secured ourselves before the Combine attempt to restore their dominion, as they certainly shall. Since this is, in fact, the first opportunity we have had to speak openly of the baleful influence of the Combine, there is much ground to cover. And in fact, I hope to institute a series of useful bulletins in the days ahead. However, for now we will have to content ourselves with some relatively meager exposition. The destabilization of the City 17 reactor has had repercussions that were not entirely unexpected, although we hardly dared speak this hope ahead of time. The destructive pulse forced a damper on the entire network of linked Citadel reactors. Thus, for the time being, I believe that all Combine portals have failed completely, as well as all communications systems based on that technology. In short, the Combine are completely cut off. Combine forces currently stationed on Earth are now isolated units, stranded. However, this is most likely a temporary state of affairs. As we once learned to our dismay, even the relatively tiny fracture at Black Mesa gave our enemies an opening which they were able to force ever wider as they poured through in greater and greater numbers. In addition to the completely xenotheric species, there are many modified post-human allies still remaining on Earth who will be doing their utmost to re-establish lines of communication and supply with the larger forces. Even so, there is greater reason for hope now than at any time in the past decade. We have made, in secret, several technological advances which we will do our best to deploy in advance of the Combine's return. We continue to diligently assemble and train a new generation of scientists and technicians. For what the Combine fear the most is not any tangible human weapon, but our will, our intellect, our ability to respond selectively and rationally to every terror they turn against us. We place our firmest hope in the human spirit, even knowing how easily it may be shattered. We have all seen friends and family crushed by the Combine. Some of our neighbors have allowed themselves to be co-opted and purged of their humanity by the military machine. And those who resisted have met a most terrible fate. Still, I cannot overstate how important it is that we retain our humanity. Only this will allow us to hold together, as we must, for their inevitable return, and what is certain to be unimaginable retaliation. And, oh yes, if you missed any part of this message, it will loop repeatedly until there is no point in looping it any longer. I apologize for any inadvertent errors or omissions. As you can imagine, we have had scarcely time to record, let alone rehearse. What's that, Eli? Oh, right. This has been Dr. Isaac Kleiner, formerly of Black Mesa, now simply a citizen, like all of you, of Earth. Let me just add to all those who can hear me now, as we struggle out of the shadow of our malefactors, welcome back to the light. Now, where did I put that calculator? Oh, Alex, my dear. I do hope you are far, far away from the Citadel. I'm sorry, Eli, but I don't see any other way. It would help us evacuate more citizens. What? Oh, dear, but there's really no time. The core is exceedingly close to collapse. Why, there's no way to get far enough without first... Well, nothing short of a direct intervention in the core could possibly retard the reaction. Into the core, yes, but it's far too dangerous to consider. The chamber will be bathed in radiation. Is this on? Yes. Very well. I am not much of a public speaker, but I'll do my best. There's no question that it will, I'm afraid. Our remote sensors indicate the process is accelerating toward a dark energy flare. We are rapidly approaching the point of no return. Anyone left in the vicinity will be subjected to energetic events whose effects are beyond my powers of speculation. Magnuson, did you hear that? I'll bet it's the Combine portal code. Data? From the Citadel? Alex! My goodness! Is that really you? Oh yes, we've been monitoring the situation. The raw discharge of the meltdown has been focused into a coherent beam of portal energy. Well, I can see that. I never said. Yes, what you're seeing is the infancy of a super portal. If it attains full strength... Yes, of course. Good grief. Eli, why didn't you tell me they'd arrived? Just let me start the decoding process, and then we can view it in the auxiliary control room. I'll hurry it along, Magnuson. My dear, what a relief, not to mention a delight to see you here at last. Oh, fie, the code. Yes, Magnuson, it just needs a little bit longer. Oh yes, quite real, despite its almost legendary stature.